memories. No. How good were those seats? Lower bowl. The atmosphere is cool for playoffs. A long time. Jumped on game 3 and 4 tickets in 1998, Brian, when the Caps made the finals for the first time, and then they lost in overtime in game 2 at Detroit. It would have been 1-1. They should have won that game. So instead of coming back 1-1 in game 3, they were down 0-2. They get beat, and then I go to freaking game 4, and there's like 5,000 Detroit fans walking around the arena with brooms. I still vividly remember that. And I had like nosebleed seats too. It was awful. One of the worst sporting event experiences I've ever had.
I've been to Detroit before. I didn't know they realized what a broom was.
Well, they left him in D.C. probably. Yeah, it was a lot more fans of game 4 than game 3. That was for sure.
Is Jimmy Adams here, Robert?
Okay. I'm here. What's up, guys?
Hey.
Jimmy, you want to go first, or you?
Yeah, I'm good with that. Whatever order.
Okay. Welcome into First Pitch for Wednesday, May 10th. I am Drew Martin, joined by Jimmy Adams, Bryan Leonard, and Steve Merrill of WagerTalk.com. Guys, we are hitting the Wednesday afternoon and night slate here. Big game breakdown, best bets as well. We're answering any questions, so feel free to reply below in the reply section on the WagerTalk YouTube channel. Come join us in the live chat. Our leadoff hitter here, Jimmy Adams. Big game breakdown, Jimmy. I am seeing the Arizona Diamondbacks and the Miami Marlins. Good series here in the desert. What are you looking to do with the D-backs and Fish?
Yeah, so the D-backs will try and pick up a series win versus Miami shortly. A Marlins team that's lost 6 of 8 in May. I like Merrill Kelly in this spot, Drew. He seems to be rounding into form after having some command issues to start the season. FIP doesn't like him because of the walks, but he's really cleaned up that issue in his last 2 starts, giving up just 1 free pass in each. He's also given up just 1 run in each of his past 2 starts, and he just struck out 10 against the Nationals last time out. So Kelly looking more solid than he did maybe to start the year. He's getting a lot of chases with his 4-seam cutter change combo, and his fastball spin rate is solid with an above average barrel percentage as well. Edward Cabrera, he's a good pitcher, but he's also been giving up way too many walks, and he's likely not going to throw deep into the game. And then we have a sizable offensive advantage here for the D-backs. They rank 5th in WOBA against righties at 342. Miami coming in at 27th in that category. So a nice opportunity for Arizona to pick on a Miami team that's been struggling here. Price is a little bit steep for me to release it to the clients, but I'll lean D-backs in about an hour or so.
Good start. Jimmy Adams here in an early game. We got Bryan Leonard batting in the 2-hole here, guys. And make sure to check out Bryan Leonard, WagerTalk.com. He's got a 5% play up. If you're a hockey bettor, he's 39-19, 67% win percentage on these 5% plays on the ice. So check him out there. But Bryan, hey, seeing your big game breakdown here, 2 fan bases that really don't like each other, the Cardinals and the Cubs. And shout out to Deshaun commenting on yesterday's video. He wanted a prediction for this game. So Deshaun, we're hitting it here. Bryan, what are you looking to do with the Cardinals and the Cubs today?
Yeah, I think this is a good game to handicap based on the starting pitchers here. Both these guys have pitched very well so far this season. In fact, Steele has been tremendous. When you look at his numbers, you go across his indicators. Both these guys, a lot of it is all in the red. If you look at the StatCast numbers, red is good, blue is bad. and these guys have a lot of red. But as I spoke about the other day, Saris does his Stuff Plus numbers. He's only got Montgomery at a 79 and Steele at an 84, both of them below average. I think there's something in the middle here, but both these guys have gotten off to tremendous starts. I think we're going to see some regression here. You take a look at some of the key stats here between these two starters and what they've done so far. Let's just take a look at Steele. His hard hit full game numbers are 17.2%, which is just incredible. His hard hit 95% and higher, 23.3%. Barrel 3.4%. Blast 1.7%. His numbers are so far off the chart based on what his actual stuff shows that there's going to be some regression here. And I'll be honest, I made a lot of money on Justin Steele, but now it's gotten to the point where, we like to bet like we play the stocks. And if you're looking to bet on Chicago right now with Steele, you're paying a high price in that regard. Both of these guys haven't given up the home runs. But you take a look at their stuff, and I think we're going to see some regression here. Versus left-handers. Both of them are left-handers today. Both these teams are at 115 on the WRC+. Plus. That puts them 15% better than league average. The wind's blowing in about 9 miles an hour here, so that we may not see the home runs, but I think both these guys will be hit up a little bit here. I like the offenses. Chicago has just brought up a couple of their key minor leaguers in the last few days, so I expect their offense to be better. And St. Louis is very deep offensively. Their problem hasn't been the offense; it's been the pitching. So we're looking at this number right now, and we're getting a pretty good number here for the total. We're looking at 7.5 under 20. I think there's some value there. If you can get 7.5 at plus 100 or better, I like the over here, and I think that's a good spot.
Bryan Leonard, Cardinals, Cubs, looking towards the over. We got Steve Merrill batting in the 3-hole here. And Steve, I'm seeing the Padres and the Twins. And guys, we don't have any late night games like 10 p.m. Eastern, but this Cardinals-Cubs game at 7:40 Eastern, and this one as well, Steve. So I guess we could call it nightcap here. What are you thinking with the Pods and the Twins tonight?
Well, this game's interesting to talk about because these are two teams that are struggling offensively. In fact, the Padres have gone under 6 straight. Minnesota's now gone under 4 straight, yet we saw a little bit of a money move this morning, but I would say some sharp money on the over in this game. It opened 8.5 to the under. It's now 8.5 over minus 120. And I think there actually is a little bit of value with the over here. It's hard to make a case for him based on recent offensive numbers, but I think this line's been set a little bit too low. And I look for both offenses to do a little bit better than expected. We might have seen the breakout by the Padres last night. They put up 9 hits and only managed 2 runs in that Sunday night game against the Dodgers. And they had a very fortunate scheduling spot in which they did not have to play Monday before traveling to Minnesota. We saw the Dodgers have to travel right away. They go into Milwaukee, and as expected, I mentioned it here on Monday's show in the big game breakdown that I thought the Dodgers offense would be a little bit flat, and they lost that game and didn't do too well offensively. And then lo and behold, they bounced back last night on Tuesday and win that game. So I thought it was a good spot for San Diego last night with the day off. Their offense, once again, 9 hits, 6 runs this time. And this is a team that's now put up 5 runs or more in 3 of their last 5 games. So I think the Padres are starting to heat up a little bit. Definitely make a case they might be a live dog in this game tonight. The question for me is, does Minnesota's offense help out here? This is a team that scored just 1 run their last 2 games. But once again, not a great scheduling spot for them last night as they returned home off the 1-week road trip in Chicago and Cleveland. They did have Monday off, but they still were sluggish yesterday, just 6 hits, 1 run scored. But if you look a little closer, they did get some guys on base. They had 10 men left on base. Sloppy game with 3 errors last night. I think they'll have a little bit more offense than expected. I like San Diego's a live dog in this one, but I think over 8.5 is a little bit of a sneaky overplay as well, as both teams snap this extended understreak and we get some line value because of it.
Offense at the forefront there. Like it, Steve. Guys, big game breakdown in the books. We got best bets coming up. Feel free to shout out in the live chat box what you're looking to bet tonight. And I'll start us off here, guys, with best bets. We got a good one in the AL East, and the Rays just lost the game. And we're talking about the Tampa Bay Rays here, guys, kind of going for history. They're looking for win number 30. And when I say history, I think the last team to win this many games in this short a period of time was all the way back in 1984 with the Detroit Tigers. So literally MLB history here. And really it's after their lineup. I mean, most home runs in MLB, and their pitcher, I'm betting at action. What I'm getting at here is the bulk of their innings are going to come from their bullpen anyway today. And it's one of the best bullpens in baseball. So I'm not necessarily looking to go against the Orioles. They do have a tough stretch right now, and going up against the Rays here, who have been good on the road, been good really wherever they're playing. So I'm jumping on the Rays at near a pick'em price tag. Whenever the Rays are in this price point, guys, I'm going to be looking to bet them -110. Looking at the WagerTalk live odds screen right now, that's my best bet for today. Tampa Bay Rays, guys, at the good price of -110. I'll throw it over here to Jimmy Adams. Jimmy, any final thoughts here for the show? What do you got for best bets, and what do you got going on at WagerTalk.com, buddy?
Yeah, so 3-0 short-term run right now, Drew. 66% last 41 MLB plays, up over a 32% ROI since April 14th. So things have been running well. Got 4% best bet up in MLB action tonight, along with this free play that I'm about to give you. So go grab a single game, 3-day, 7-day monthly package, and we'll continue to make money. For today's best bets, I'm going to Kauffman Stadium as the White Sox look to win their third consecutive series in May. First of all, this is a White Sox offense that's put up 26 runs in their past 3 games. A 17-run win over the Reds inflates that number a little bit, but swinging the bats well nonetheless. And that will continue tonight because Brad Keller is about as big of a fade pitcher as you'll find. This is a guy that walks more batters than he strikes out. Literally, you heard me right. He's got more walks on the season than strikeouts from a starter. He's got 20 free passes in his last 4 starts alone to go along with his 5.60 FIP, and he's actually fortunate that his FIP's that low. Last time out, he faced an 8-win A's team, gave up 7 runs over 11 hits in 4.1 innings. And when he gets pulled, things don't get much better. KC has the 4th worst bullpen in all of baseball with a collective ERA of 5.24. So like I said, Keller's got a terrible chase rate, a high WOBA, and exit velo from opponents. Just not what you want from a starter. There's also going to be warm weather tonight and humid at Kauffman, so look for the ball to carry. All that adding up to, I'm playing the White Sox team total over. That's going to be today's best bet and a client play.
Team total Sox to the over, like the weather report there as well from Jimmy Adams. Guys, check him out, wagertalk.com. That 4% play up and available. Want to hit the gold sheet best bet here, guys, and I'll hit the bullet points for you. It's a K prop here from Justin Steele, the Cubs starter, under 5.5 strikeouts against the Cardinals. Steele's strikeout rate has dipped from 24.6% last year to 21.8% this year. Steele has only cleared this mark 2 times in 7 starts this season, and the Cardinals have faced 7 lefty starters this season. Only 2 of them have thrown 6+ strikeouts. So we get Steele, K-prop to the under tonight against the Cards from the Gold Sheet. Our trends angled, powered by goldsheet.com. Guys, check them out there. Also, check out Bryan Leonard, 5% play up, highest rated play possible, going tonight on the ice, and he's 39-19, 67% win percentage. Brian, I'll throw it over to you. Any final thoughts here for the show? And where are you heading for best bets?
Yeah, we had one play up in baseball today, and unfortunately it was an earlier play. So that's the only selection of baseball I have today. The ones I'm talking about here would be next up on the line. I do have the 2 plays up in hockey and 1 to 5%, as you mentioned. Drew talked about Tampa Bay with the surprising line there, and it's surprising for a reason. I'm unfortunately going against Drew on this one. He had Tampa. I like Baltimore here. We take a look at, as I mentioned before, for the Sarah Stuff Plus numbers. Jalen Beeks 60, Dean Kramer 105. Kramer's not having a good season thus far, but this is a guy that I think has some value as you go along. Drew mentioned the bullpen. Beeks will be pitching. He's a lefty. And Baltimore is tied for third in Major League Baseball and WRC Plus with Texas hitting lefties. Now, granted, this isn't your normal lefty, as Beeks will probably only throw an inning or two. I believe he had like 25 total pitches thrown in the last 5 days, so he won't be out there very long. But I think Baltimore can get to him here. This is a team in Baltimore. You know, you talk about the American League East. American League East is so dominant. Every team is beat up on everybody outside of the East. And to be able to find one of these teams in an underdog role, and granted, it's very slight underdog here, but you are getting them at home, I think is a good reason to take Baltimore here. Tampa Bay is one of those teams that is not only setting records, you take a look at their WRC plus on the season, they're number one against lefties, number one against righties, but against righties, they're 22% less than they are against lefties. So if we're going to go against Tampa, which takes some guts these days, I want a righty in there on the mound, and that's what Baltimore has got right here. You look more into the StatCast data, just about everybody on Tampa Bay is just having a career year. As much as I like the ownership of Tampa Bay, I like the management of Tampa Bay, we all have to agree that they're playing over their abilities at this point. I think the line is close the way it is for a reason. And unlike Drew, I will take Baltimore here. And it'll be a mano a mano in this one, Drew and I. And that's usually not a good thing, as Drew's a hell of a baseball capper. But I'll take Baltimore here.
Well, back at you, Brian. And I don't like being on the other side from you, man. But hey, that's what makes a market. And to tell you the truth, I didn't love tonight's card. So it was kind of like slim pickings for me. It's a small bet. But Brian, I do have a follow-up question, because you've been handicapping baseball successfully for many years now. Do you come at handicapping baseball really caring what other people's opinions are, or no? Is it something, my number is the only number that matters? How do you attack baseball handicapping?
It's interesting. I know guys for years that don't care at all about what somebody else has got. And then I got other guys I respect that always care what everybody else has got. It's different. It's what you're looking for. Baseball and hockey, unlike the other sports where you're laying points, you're looking for value in the money line sports. And that's all I do. You know, like yesterday, I loved the Yankees against Oakland, but I wasn't laying 280. I wasn't laying 260. And so I sat that one out, and sure, the Yankees offense blows out the Oakland pitching staff as I expected. And you've got to be able to play with some advantages. And I thought this game, Baltimore should have been a slight favorite. And like you, I mean, we're limited on these games as the day goes on, and we lose out on all this 10 a.m. start. So, yeah, it's not a game I'm in love with, but out of the games we have remaining, I like the Baltimore side.
Brian Leonard at B Leonard Sports there on Twitter. And guys, a reminder, 5% top rated play in the NHL, 39-19, 67% winning percentage on those rare 5% NHL plays for Brian Leonard. So go check that out, WagerTalk.com. We got Steve Merrill to finish it off here, Steve. I'm seeing the Reds as your best bet here. Any final thoughts for the show? Do you have anything on that question I gave Brian? You're a successful handicapper in yourself, man. I'm seeing number 1 ranked NBA on the season. So guys, you like betting the playoffs in the association, go check out Steve Merrill. Steve, anything on kind of, is your number the only thing that matters? Do you take in other people's accounts? And any final thoughts, best bet for the show, buddy?
No, I mean, when I'm doing my daily best bets each morning, it's my numbers, my handicapping only. But with that said, I do watch, a lot of these Wager Talk TV shows. I love hearing everybody's insight, and it might help me with some future plays, right? And I mean, Brian has great insight. Jimmy has great insight. Drew, you occasionally have great insight. It's stuff that I do listen to, and I use as part of my handicapping going forward. But I think it's very important in the modern age, more than ever, not to get paralysis from over-analysis. So you need a method, you need a system. But you can definitely learn from some of the great cappers that are on these shows daily and use some of that going forward. Nothing wrong with that. Don't think you're the smartest person in the room, even if you are.
I like it, Steve. Good stuff, man. And guys, if you want more insight, check him out on Twitter at Steve Merrill. And again, WagerTalk.com, number 1 NBA ranked handicapper this season. We got the playoffs going on. So, Steve, any other final thoughts here for the show? And what do you got for best bets?
Yeah, it's a big Wednesday night at WagerTalk.com. A lot of daytime baseball games, but I do have a strong best bet for Wednesday night baseball. And more importantly, best bets in both NBA playoff games tonight on Wednesday. Don't sleep on the NBA. Quite simply, nobody has won more in 2023 than I have, up 88 and a half units of profit already this calendar year. Number one in the NBA. And by the way, you can get the rest of the NBA, including both best bets tonight, for free when you get the next 2 months of baseball. That's my MLB special through the All-Star game in mid-July for just $2.99. And you get the rest of the NBA season, $159 value included for free. It's a 2-for-1 combo on my page right now. No promo code needed. Steve Merrill, WagerTalk.com. Also have a free baseball play for this afternoon, a late afternoon game on my page right now. So check that out. And for the free play here on the show, we're going to look at another game on the nighttime card that was just a bit outside from making the cut. And that's going to be the Cincinnati Reds plus 1.5 on the run line. Now, I'm not a huge lover of the Reds necessarily. They're offensively challenged at times. Hunter Green does intrigue me as a starter tonight, a very talented flamethrower. It's been very inconsistent, but I think he'll have a good outing here against a Mets team that is struggling right now. And the reason I like the plus 1.5 run line, quite simply, the Mets have only won by more than one run once in their last 15 games. So if you've laid a run and a half of the Mets, you've gone 1-14 in the last 15 games. So I think this will be a close one. I think the Reds could definitely win it outright, especially with Green on the mound. And don't get caught up when you see the word Verlander next to the Mets. It's only his second start of the season. Keep in mind, he is 40 years old. He's coming off an arm injury. It's only his second start this year, and he was very mediocre in his debut last week. Gave up 2 home runs in that game, and I'm not sold on Verlander being the same Verlander as last season. I need to see more. He missed the spring, and I think there's some good upside with Green as an underdog here, especially plus 1.5 against a Mets team that's just not winning by margins. It's going just 2-8 straight up their last 10 overall. Take a look at the live home dog tonight, Cincinnati Reds plus 1.5 run line. And don't forget, strong nighttime best bet in baseball, both NBA playoff games, a 3-for-1 special tonight on Wednesday, or get the rest of the NBA for free with baseball. Steve Merrill, WagerTalk.com.
Steve Merrill bringing the heat there, guys. In recap for the best bets, Rays minus 110. That's my best bet. Steve Merrill, just heard it there. Reds plus the 1.5 minus the $1.25. We got Bryan Leonard head to head here, mano-a-mano on the Orioles plus 105. Jimmy Adams, Chicago White Sox team total over 4.5 minus 130 price tag on that. And the gold sheet, Justin Steele, K-prop under the 5.5 strikeouts, minus 145. Jimmy Adams, Bryan Leonard, Steve Merrill. Check them out, WagerTalk.com. I am Drew Martin. If you're liking the content, please smash that like button. Feel free to reply below. We'll be back tomorrow, same time, same place. Come join us then. Cash those tickets. Thanks for tuning in.
Have you checked out all the new handicappers at WagerTalk? If not, here's your chance. You can take 50% off your first daily or 3-day all-access purchase at WagerTalk using coupon code TRYWT. Our new roster of experts is 30 deep, covering sports from all around the world, giving you tons of options to choose from. All you have to do to redeem this offer is go to WagerTalk.com, choose a handicapper of your choice, and use coupon code TRYWT at checkout, saving 50% on your first purchase.